Okay, let's jump right in. There's this really fascinating geological puzzle up in Scotland, and, well, the timeline just got a serious rewrite.
It really did. We're looking at a new study. This one's from Curtin University, and it's completely redated a huge meteorite impact in northwestern Scotland.
And the core of this deep dive, using the research findings, is exploring why this new date, shifting from about 1.2 billion years ago, way forward, to 990 million years ago, why that's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it potentially tells us something new about the dawn of complex life on Earth. It's quite exciting.
So let's talk about the evidence. It centers around something called the stack fada member. What exactly is that?
Right. Think of the stack fada member as a very specific, very distinct layer of rock. You find it in northwestern Scotland.
Okay.
And it's crucial because it essentially preserves the debris and the chaotic aftermath of this massive meteorite impact.
And previously, scientists thought this event, happened much earlier.
Exactly. The accepted date was around 1.2 billion years ago. That gave us a snapshot of Earth way back then.
But that picture's changing now, based on tiny crystals.
Tiny but mighty. Zircon crystals. The Curtin University researchers use these. Zircons are amazing minerals, incredibly durable. They act like geological time capsules.
Time capsules, I like that. So they hold clues.
They lock in information about the conditions when they formed and, crucially, any later disturbances. And inside some of these zircons, they found reidite.
Reidite. That sounds important.
It's huge. It's a mineral that only forms under the incredible pressure of a massive impact. Finding it is basically undeniable proof of a meteorite strike.
Wow. Okay. But how does finding reidite help redate the impact? Doesn't the impact mess up the dating?
Ah, good question. It does. The shock can partially reset the zircon's internal atomic clock. The radioactive decay process we use for dating. It complicates things.
So how did they solve that?
They developed a really clever, innovative dating model. It essentially lets them mathematically separate the zircon's original formation age from the timing of the impact disturbance. By looking at how different radioactive elements decayed after that disturbance, they could pinpoint when it happened. And that date came out as approximately 990 million years ago.
Right, 990 million years. And this is where it connects to early life, isn't it? That date is intriguingly close to when we think some of the first freshwater eukaryotes appeared in Scotland.
Precisely. We're talking about the very ancient ancestors of, everything, complex plants, animals, fungi. They were just starting to emerge in non-marine environments around that.
So the big question is, could the impact have played a role?
That's the tantalizing possibility, yeah. Could such a massive event maybe change the environment? Perhaps it created new habitats or released vital nutrients locked up in rocks?
Or maybe caused destruction that opened up space for new things?
It could be any of those, or a combination. We don't have direct proof of cause and effect yet, but the timing, it's suggestive, isn't it? It raises fascinating questions about how these huge geological events might influence the evolution of life.
Okay, so we have the impact evidence, the new date, the potential life connection, but we're still missing the smoking gun, so to speak, the actual crater.
That's right. The crater itself hasn't been found. Still elusive, could be buried, eroded away, maybe even offshore somewhere.
But this study might help find it.
Hopefully. Analyzing the stack fada member, the ejecta blanket, gives more clues about the impact's scale and maybe direction. It helps narrow down the search.
And finding it would be important.
Oh, absolutely. Understanding the timing and location of these major impacts is crucial for figuring out their full effect on Earth's environment and, the whole story of life expanding beyond the oceans.
And it's worth mentioning, this wasn't just one university, right? It was quite a collaboration.
Yes, definitely a team effort. NASA's Johnson Space Center was involved, University of St. Andrews, University of Portsmouth, Carl Zeiss Microscopy too. Big science often needs that kind of collaboration.
And for anyone wanting the nitty-gritty details, the paper is published in the journal Geology.
That's the one. So I think the key takeaway for you listening is this really significant redating of the Scottish impact to about 990 million years ago.
And that this new timeline opens up this really intriguing potential link between a massive cosmic collision and the early diversification of complex life on land and in freshwater.
Exactly.
So here's something to think about. If this one impact's timeline shift raises such interesting questions about early life, how many other major geological events in Earth's past might have had unexpected consequences for the path evolution took? It really highlights the dynamic dance between the planet and the life it supports, doesn't it?